Are you struggling to narrow down the choices of what coffee machine to buy next? Well, I've used hundreds of these machines and own a cafe, so I think I've got a little bit of an idea about what espresso machine to buy for your home. So stick around right to the end because I've got some favorites that I have to share with you, but let's get to it. G'day mate, I'm Ryde, your coffee coach, and today I want to look at some machines between the prices of $1,000 and $2,000. Because there's so many machines out there on the market, I've had to narrow it down, so I may have missed some. If you think I have that deserve to be on this list, then give me a like and put a comment in the section below and let me know which ones you think should be on there, and maybe I'll do more down the track as well. Some of these machines have been around for years and some of them haven't even been released yet and will be released in 2025. But they're all excellent machines and I can't wait to hear which one you end up buying. So the very first one has to be, without a doubt, the RANCILIO Silvia version 6 they're up to now, because a machine like this deserves to be on any list that is about the best espresso machines, regardless of its price. And yes, this one actually is cheaper than $1,000. It sits at about $900 US. It deserves to be on this list just for the sake it's been around for 20 plus years, and some of them that were built back then are still going today. But I want to focus on this particular video on its bigger and better sister, the RANCILIO Silvia Pro X. And that is a dual boiler machine from the same manufacturer with the same design, same thing. And it took them 20 something years to actually release this model, because every time they would go back to the board, they'd say, why don't we just update the original model? And then they finally produced this one. And I love it because not only can you make your coffee and steam your milk simultaneously, it also includes all of the tech that the first one didn't have. Well, I mean, you could upgrade it, but it didn't originally have it. Things like your temperature control, your pre-infusion, your shot timer, all of these things that just add to making your experience that much better in the morning. And it's only $1,000 more than its predecessor, which I think is worth it for what you get. It comes in a range of different colors, a pink, a white, a black, and a stainless steel. And it now just, one of the biggest things I think about it is the steam wand. The steam wand on the original one isn't the greatest. It can be a little bit harsh. It can blast your milk and make bubbles everywhere. And if you don't know how to use it, it's very hard to master. But the Silvia Pro X has a 3-hole steam wand, which just delivers silky, dry milk, really soft steam that helps you create those perfect silky milk for your latte art. And even if you're new to coffee completely, the Silvia Pro X will just help you make the best espresso for experienced or newbies. And that's why I think this deserves to be on this list. In my opinion, I just think you got to do whatever it takes, beg, steal, borrow, to get that extra money to buy the Silvia Pro X over the Silvia. Now, another dual boiler that's coming onto the market in 2025 that is going to really compete with the RANCILIO Silvia Pro X, I think, is the PROFITEC Move. And now I haven't had a chance to actually play on this machine, but they are going to send me one to play on. So hopefully I'll be able to give you a more in-depth review over time. Check it out here if it's here. And I reckon this machine is going to absolutely blitz the market, because not only is it going to be a dual boiler, so you can make coffee and milk at the same time, not only is it coming out in a range of colors, yes, it's only starting in a black, but then down the track it'll have a coral and a sky blue and a honey mustard, all these different colors. It will also be one of the fastest machines to heat up. So I think they're touting it like a 7-minute heat up speed, which is fantastic. So actually, the way that they do it is that they overheat and then they flush it with some cool water to bring it back down to temperature. And that's how they can achieve those super fast, but really ready to go, ready to extract endless coffees in that 7-minute mark. But not only that, it's stuffed full of features as well. It's got your PID, your shot timers, it's got your pressure gauges, it's got a eco mode, a standby mode. It's filled with features, and I'm really excited to get my hands on this machine, and I really can't wait to deliver a full in-depth review for you. But stick it out. It's going to be $1,900 as well. And the PROFITEC is a blend between the German and Italian espresso manufacturing, which is just the best of both worlds, because you have the German precision engineering, and then you have Italians who know their espresso, and they've been doing espresso machines for 100 years. This is why I love this brand. And not only that, they've added the features of the timber accents. So the handle is timber, And the actuators for your steam and your water, they're timber as well. And I love those actuators. I'm really excited to play with those actuators. And they're actually bringing out a modular portafilter. So yes, you can split it into two, make 2 espressos or 2 shot glasses, or you could do a double espresso into the one and make that chocolate rain. Just you want to put your mouth under there and catch all that chocolate rain on your tongue, but I don't recommend you try that. And for $1,900 US, that's pretty cheap. I think this is going to really compete in the marketplace for all those dual boilers out there. I'm absolutely excited. I hope you are too. And let me know if you end up getting one too. Now, talking about sexy machines, I recently was able to get my hands on SMEG's latest espresso machine and first real entry into the espresso market, the Mini Pro Espresso. And I say it's their first real attempt because the others, they just were rubbish. I just did not like them. They did not seem like serious additions into the espresso marketplace. They looked like they were fluffing around with some appliance machines and charging way too much for them. But this Mini Pro, I've made hundreds of coffees on it over the last couple of weeks, and I absolutely think it's a solid machine. Not only does it look gorgeous, and they've blended that traditional Italian style E61 group head with the lever with the modern, and it comes in 3 colors. It's got a matte white, a matte black, and this one, which is called the emerald green. However, it's probably more of a mint green. I think this is a solid machine. Unfortunately, you can't make coffee and steam your milk at the same time. However, because it's a triple thermoblock machine, which means it has thermoblocks for each, the steam wand and the brew head and the extraction boiler, you can actually switch between your coffee and your steam pretty much instantly. It's that quick, and it's quick to heat up. It only took 3 minutes before you can start using the steam, and it takes about 9 minutes, maybe even 8 minutes before your portafilter is nice and hot and ready to go. And everything is solid indeed, and it also has a lovely big LCD screen which gives you control access to the menus, the standby modes, eco modes, change the temperature settings. It's really, really well designed, and I had a blast making coffees on this. I think if you're already into SMEG and you have other SMEG appliances in this house, you'll know that SMEG is not cheap, but this one is actually worth it. They're coming in at 1,400 euros. I think it might be like 1,500 or 1,600 US dollars. It's definitely worth the price. If you're already bought into the SMEG family, I would recommend this to anyone who wants that new or experienced. You're going to have a great time. And I'm seriously impressed for a company that I didn't think was seriously taking coffee seriously. How many times can I say seriously in a sentence? 4 just then. Well, I think they impressed me with their seriousness. And staying on the topic of gorgeous machines and serious machines, I'm going to talk about the Stone espresso machine. It's a gorgeous machine, and it looks like you could have this right beside your shower because the tiles on the side, they're all modular. You can change them to be timber, to be all different colors. It's really customizable, and I think the way that they've designed the actuator to turn on your extraction just makes you feel like you're turning on a tap. So if you've got a modern design house with nice big tiles on it, you can get it to match. And I love this machine. Yes, it doesn't have all the tech that some of the other machines have, but it is a heat exchanger, meaning you can make your coffee and your milk at the same time, and it's super slim. It's lovely and slim, and it fits on your bench top really nicely. And I think for a lot of people, this is actually going to be the perfect machine for you. And I just don't know why it's not talked about more, but I love them. Now, Stone espresso machine is actually manufactured by Rocket. And Rocket are kind of the luxury espresso machine manufacturers in Milan. And they've been around for about 20 years, and they do make exceptionally great coffee machines. And if you like that Italian design, the E61 group head with all of the knobs and the pipes sticking out everywhere, then you are going to love the Apartamento, because it's only $1,800 US, and it has all of those features, and in terms of the design, it is stunning. And not only that, it has a side panel which gives you the circular dots, and it just makes it look that little bit more modern. And you can get it in the white, black, and also a copper. And it doesn't have a lot of tech in there. It is pretty basic, but in terms of if you want the Italian style, robust, it's going to last you forever, really, really luxury looking, and they do stand out on the bench tops, then you're going to love the Apartamento. It has no PID, which I think is a bit of a letdown. They do have a version called the Apartamento TCA, and that has a unique I guess, style of PID temperature stabilizer. To be honest though, I was so confused by it because it uses a series of flashing lights of different colors to be able to understand what it is. And I didn't love it, and a lot of people have not loved it. So probably best to save yourself the 200 bucks, just get yourself the base Apartamento, or wait for a new one to be released in a couple of years, because they might be releasing one with proper PID on it. Now, with a lot of E61 group heads, the problem is that they take forever to heat up, and the Apartamento will take 25, maybe 35 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes to be properly ready to be able to extract multiple coffees back to back without losing temperature, without making them sour or burnt in other ways. That is one of the downsides with these Italian espresso machines, is that yeah, they don't have all the tech in there to do a fast heat up and make it really consistent. Now, the Rocket Apartamento is $1,900 US, which makes it a little bit on the pricier end. However, I remember it said it is a premium brand. You are paying a little bit for the name, but you also know that it is a solid machine. And speaking of releases, while I release videos every week, I certainly don't make money off of them. So if you wouldn't mind, give me a like, give me a subscribe, leave a comment below on any of the machines that you think I might have missed. I really appreciate it, guys. You're bloody legends. And if you like Italian style espresso machines, then you're going to love the ECM Mechanica Max, because you get all of that style, the Italian style espresso machines. However, you also get with some of the tech. So ECM is actually PROFITEC's sister company. They make the most premium style espresso machines out of Milan. Pretty much all the technicians agree that this is the nicest machine to service. So in terms of longevity, that's what you're paying that little bit extra for. But in this case, with the Mechanica Max, you're also getting all of the tech. So it is a little bit over that 2,000 budget. I'm sorry, guys. You pay for what you get. It's a $2,400, but you get so much tech in there. You get your PID temperature control, you get your shot timer, you get your backflash reminder, you get your filter change reminder. You also can set up it to come on and off 2 times a day, every day of the week. So no matter what your weekly schedule is, you are going to be able to set this machine to turn on 35 minutes before you wake up. So when you get out of bed, you can roll into the kitchen and make your espresso without having to wait for it. And that is probably worth that extra couple of $100. Now, the other thing that this machine has that none of the other machines that I've mentioned have is called a flow meter. And it is optional. You pay a little bit more for the flow meter. Flow control is perfect if you want to swim down the rabbit hole into the Alice in Espresso land. It's fantastic, but the flow meter might be worth it if you just want to get the machine with all the bells and whistles on it. This is the machine for you, because the flow meter allows you to control the flow rate of your extraction and the water as it hits your extraction. So there you can play around and experiment with different roast types, getting the best flavors out of them, experimenting with longer pre-infusion, shorter pre-infusion, longer extractions. It's really good to be able to grow and learn with this machine. So if you're interested in diving into a machine that really can grow as you do, then this Mechanica Max is probably the perfect one for you. Not only that, it's just a banging good machine. And I love ECM as a brand, except for the name. Now for my favorite picks, which I promised you at the start. First one is LELIT Mara X. It is probably the most gorgeous E61 heat exchange machine. Yes, the stainless steel doesn't look that different to the other Italian style machines, but when you get the matte white or the matte black with the timber handles and the timber dials, ah, man, this is a gorgeous machine. It's also very nice and slim, and whether you're an experienced barista or a brand newbie, you are going to get the most out of this machine, because whilst it doesn't have huge amount of tech, it does have enough to stabilize the temperature, to make your coffees consistent. So as you're learning, you're going to still be able to create fantastic coffees. It's got a basic PID, so you can just with a low, medium and high temperature. You're mostly going to be able to stick it with the middle one anyway, but if you want to play around with different roast types, then you can. And it also has a preference to set it to steam pressure or to your extraction. And that means if you're making a lot of milk drinks, then you can set it to steam pressure and it will give you more power, make it faster for you to steam up your milk. Or if you're focused more on espresso or long blacks, then you can click into that and it creates a better stabilizer for the extraction. Just means you can pump out more espresso shots more consistently. But the other great thing is that it's on the side, so you can tap it when you need to and you don't have to wait very long for it to adjust. The flow control itself is actually even nicer than the Max, because the Max has a little like kind of dinky little plasticky knob on the top. This timber one, just looks so sweet. And all up with the flow control is $1,900 US, but without the flow control, it's about $1,600, $1,700 US too. So really good price for such a gorgeous machine. Another new favorite of mine is one that hasn't been yet released, but you can back it now on Indiegogo, and it was on Kickstarter a while ago, is MERAKI espresso machine. And this machine looks impressive. And not only looks impressive, it plays impressive. Like, I got to play on this machine and I was seriously impressed with the amount of tech that goes into this machine. And for a dual boiler that costs at the moment about $1,300 US and might be going up to about $1,700 US when it's come out full retail, it is stuffed to the rafters with technology on it. Not only does it have a built-in grinder, which I know I say I don't really like, however, this particular grinder is isolated from the rest of the machine, so there's going to be no heating of your beans, no way that the coffee dust can get into your machine. It is still connected to your machine, so if one fails, they both fail, but that hopefully won't happen. But the best part about this is just the way that they've designed it for serious baristas and newbies. It has two built-in scales, so all you need to do is say, I want 18 grams out, and it grinds the coffee for you. You transfer that into your portafilter, so it's not a fully automatic, but then you just select 36 grams, or if you want to play with a bit longer, might go 40 grams espresso, then it just delivers that. And let's say you've ground your coffee too fine or too coarse. Well, as the extraction's going, it will recognize that it's going too long or too quickly. It will come up with a little warning after you've made your coffee saying, this coffee ran too fast, perhaps adjust your grind to be more fine. And then you can go back and do that again, or you can just drink the sour coffee if you wish. But the fact that it recognizes all of that, it's actually guiding you to start using recipes. And a lot of people, especially newbies, do not use recipes. They don't understand about weighing in, weighing out, flow control, all of that. This particular machine is going to help those people get better and more educated around coffee and how espresso should be and how you should make it perfectly. Not only that, but if you're an experienced barista, you can play around with this, do things. You can't do curves and pressure profiling and things like that, but it still gives you a lot of control. Now, the other beautiful thing about this is the steam one. I think by far it's the best auto steamer that I've found. It's not even meant to be an auto steamer. I don't believe so. It probably is just a function that happened, but you can steam your milk manually, or you can just place it down there, press the button. It will set the temperature for you. So you can say, I want 75-degree, really smoking hot milk, and it will stop it there. If you want it to be 60 degrees, whatever. But the milk that it gets is so silky. It's probably almost as good as I can do. Almost. But it's beautiful. And this machine, dual boiler, you can do your coffee and your milk at the same time, has RFID chip reader. It's just, I can't even list. You have to watch the whole video if you want to find out. Super cheap. Now, the biggest risk here, and I will give this disclaimer, I am not affiliated with this company at all. This company may not be around in 4 years' time. They're a brand new company. Who knows what's going to happen to them? Who knows if you buy this and you have a machine in 4 years and you need parts for it that you can't get it. I don't think that's going to happen, and I really hope it doesn't happen, because this machine has a lot going for it, but it's a risk. And if you don't want to take that risk, don't buy this machine. But for $1,300 US, it's a pretty low risk to get something that a dual boiler with this much tech in it. That's why I'm really, really excited for where this company goes and where this machine goes in its next iteration, because I think Breville are going to be on notice. And finally, my favorite pick, because it's budget and it's excellent, is the PROFITEC Go. You can buy it so cheap. I think it's about as expensive as the RANCILIO Silvia. However, it has more tech. It has a pressure gauge. It has a PID, temperature stabilizer. It has a really great steam wand. It has a really quick heat up function. It's going to be ready in about that 7 to 9 minutes. I love that it comes in the range of colors. For me, the PROFITEC Go is the best all-rounder. Until one of the other companies comes up with something even cheaper and better, this is going to remain my pick for a long time, because whilst it's only been out for 2 years, it is a solidly built machine. We know the company produces some of the best equipment in the world, so there's that behind it. As an added bonus, switching between the coffee and the milk is actually super quick, much quicker than the RANCILIO Silvia. You get better control, better consistency. All up, it's a better espresso machine, I think, than the RANCILIO Silvia. Maybe it won't last as long, who knows? But in terms of making coffees, I prefer making coffees on the PROFITEC Go. But that's just my personal opinion. Let me know in the comments below what your personal opinion is, and I'm happy to disagree with you. Anyway, I hope you like these videos. I'm Ryde, your coffee coach, and as always, enjoy your brew.